Hello and welcome. DJ Vic Vapor with you. Ableton Live 10, and just wanted to take a look at some Max for Live plugins or instruments or whatever we're going to refer to them as. And it's going to be some Max for Live stuff that you can find for free at maxforlive.com. Just go ahead and type that in, maxforlive.com, and then you can pull up by name what we choose to use here, and you'll find it available on the website there for free to download. So I'll let you kind of explore that at your leisure. But Ableton Live 10 now has Max for Live, integrated into it in a completely unique way. So let's just kind of get right at it. So we're going to go to my user library, and the first one we're going to look at is called Cambot, C-A-M-B-O-T, Cambot. And I'm going to drag it over to, say, this audio channel right here. And when it first opens up, you don't really see much. Now, again, what we're going to be looking at is ways to utilize our webcam or our camera input to affect audio. So the first one, of course, here is Cambot. So to actually get my image to pop up here, my beautiful mug in all its glory, we'll just click Enable Cam. And voila, there I am. So there's a little bit of a delay with my actual image and my voice. I haven't really worked out the latency or compensation on that. I'm not really going to worry about that too much in this tutorial or this kind of lesson. But anyhow, let's look at one of the cool things that Cambot actually does for us. Outside of, if you don't have necessarily a third party or like a screen capture software or anything like that, and you want to do some camera work and you have a webcam, Cambot's kind of there for you. But if I wanted to use this, say, in a tutorial setting within Ableton, what's cool about Cambot is if I go down here and I just click the little plus button, my image now seats perfectly inside the effects window or effects lane or whatever you want to refer to it as, and it's no longer up here, and I don't have to keep moving it around, and I don't have to take up some weird space where you're not seeing any of the mouse movements or any of the things that I'm doing with different effects. So it's one of the things I really like about Cambot is that you can drop it right into here, and now I can just start working, and we can chat and we can go on and do what we need to do here to create a tutorial or whatever it may be. So really nice plugin available at Max for Live that you can utilize if you don't necessarily have, say, the need for a screen capture software where you want to add the camera externally or add the camera through the screen capture software. You can simply do it right here within Ableton. So that is Cambot. We are going to go ahead and grab that guy, and I'll just get rid of it. The next one I want to take a look at is called Motion Mod 22. And I'm going to grab this guy and drag it over to a MIDI channel. We'll pop it open. And you can see there when I first open it up, it's just this white snowstorm, kind of all pretty much invisible or just whited out. So what you can do here is, first of all, on the left side, you can select your camera source. Which I've got mine selected there. It's just a little external USB MIDI, Logitech MIDI, or not MIDI, I'm sorry. I got MIDI on the mind because we're on a MIDI channel, I guess. But a little Logitech, webcam. I think I paid like $50 for it at Best Buy. Maybe a little bit more. I can't really remember, but it's just an HD external webcam, so does the job. Nothing too fancy, but definitely does the job. So in order for me to get a little bit better visual out of this window, I want to mess with the curve and the threshold. Now this is going to be, kind of hit and miss. You got to kind of work this out a little bit. It's not going to be set it and forget it. You got to work with it a little bit. So first of all, let's bring the curve up just a little bit and start to move the threshold. So now you start to see like a silhouette of me and you start to see some of that screen change. But if I move my hand, that's what we're really after, because what this is going to allow us to do is take that motion or image within the camera of me moving, my hand moving, or whatever we have the camera pointed at, because this can be utilized in a live performance setting where if you take your little webcam, you can point it at the dance floor, or maybe you can point it at some particular spot on stage where you can turn and wave your hand in front of it or make some movement to hype the crowd and actually affect the sound. And the way we're going to affect sound is we can choose from our drop down here what we want to affect. So at this point, I'm going to go over to the audio channel here, and I will grab a random loop. Let me just grab a drum loop, a beat loop here from one of my packs, and we will go back here, and let's stay on the audio one more second. We need something to affect, and we'll do a filter on this, and we'll work with the filter frequency. So we'll kind of move this guy around and see what we can get here. So let's go back here to the motion mod, and let's choose from our drop down, which it doesn't show anything. And the way we can help ourselves there is it's got a little refresh list button. We simply click that, and the last thing I touched was the auto filter, so it pops up there. So the auto filter is what we're going to do, and the target parameter will be the filter frequency right there. And now this, we may need to come back and work with, let me just move my hand around here and see what I want. All right, let's go on the other side and see if that's actually making, yeah, see how the filter, I'm moving my hand to get that filter to open and close, but it's not going far enough. And that's what I was talking about earlier, is it's not set and forget. You need to kind of work with these guys a little bit here to get things working the way you want them. All right, so it looks like that was a little hard on the threshold, so let's bring it back. Let's bring the threshold down here. And let's see if that helps us out a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Now we're getting some, and I'm just simply, we'll go back here and show you, but now it's just my hand movement and possibly a little bit of my head movement. But it looks like it's kind of jittery, and that may be a little too much on the curve. Yeah, all right, so we'll just keep working with it. We'll dial it in, but at least you guys will get the idea if you decide to mess with this on your own, how it's going to affect things. So back over here, let's open the threshold up a little bit. Maybe that's just too low. There we go, a little bit better. All right, let's see what we get on the sound there. So we're not going to hear anything. I'm going to move this over here so you guys can see now. You can see my hand. So let's start the sound. And we don't hear anything, of course, because the filter's closed. So let's open it up. And let's work with that threshold a little bit to see if we can get better responses. Looks like down is better. There we go, down, down, down. So there you go, see? Got a little hand movement affecting the threshold. So one of the things I want to try here is I'll stop the loop. I want to, let's take this and let's go this way with it. And let's add, where's the, since we're in Ableton Live 10, let's add the echo. And let's go ahead and select these together here. and we'll group them. Now we've got macros available here for the group. So let's set the macro. We'll do both. We'll do the frequency, map it to 1, and we will map the dry wet to macro 1. So now we've got some movement from macro 1, opening and closing the filter and opening and closing the echo effect. So of course we'll go back to MIDI, hit our refresh, audio effect rack, and then on the audio effect rack we want macro 1. Let's see, is that macro 1? And let's see if that works for us now, getting an echo and a filter. Yeah. So you know, moving your hand into depth, in and out here, change a few things. A little high on the curve, let's come down. So anyhow, you guys get the idea. Pretty cool stuff there. And, you know, you can kind of let your mind run wild. I just wanted to show you a kind of a real world application for it as far as setting it up. You can set, you know, as many controls or devices you want over to one macro. And let me turn that off. It's kind of bugging me a little bit. I've got, you know, I've got different things in here like the manual MIDI mapper and things like that. Or, you know, you can get different Max for Live devices out there where you can literally take one thing, you know, like let me come back on camera for you. So you can take one thing, you know, and map that source to 3 or 4 different, or one, like 8, 9 different things to one macro, and then you can set it up to this camera where you can simply do that, you know, and you'll get your different effects going. So hopefully it makes your creative juices flow a little bit. I mean, that's just my motion against the camera. So in a live setting, you could technically take the USB camera and maybe move it around itself, you know, grab it, and depending on whether it's Bluetooth wireless or whatever, or if it's got the wire, you know, you can move it around and get some different effects going in your show that way as well. Anyhow, some really cool stuff, some things to think about. Let me turn off the audio here. So yeah, some cool stuff, things to think about, all that fun stuff. It is Max for Live. That is the Motion Mod 22 and the CamBot. There's a couple more video ones that I'm going to feature here maybe in the next few days. I just wanted to kind of go over these ones first, and I'm going to work through the other ones and kind of see if there's anything cool we can share or talk about. But hopefully it's been something you, again, learned from. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for push and play. And as always, peace.